Okay, next one, handling primitive data types. Okay, so in the previous video we have seen how to read and write, how to perform read and write operations on character streams and byte streams. Okay, so in this video we'll see how to handle primitive data types. Primitive data types means integer, character, and float and double, all those. Okay, so the earlier examples seen only how to read characters and how to read bytes. Okay, now in this we will see how to read and perform write operations using primitive data types. Okay, so primitive data types means basic data types available in Java, right? Integer, float, double, char, like that. Okay, so if you want to read or write, so if we want to perform read and write primitive data types, primitive data types means such as integers and doubles, integers and doubles. Now what you have to do is we can use filters or filter classes as wrapper class. Filter classes as wrapper classes on existing input and output streams existing input and output streams to filter data in the original stream. In the original stream. Okay, so now there are two filter classes. Okay, there are two filter classes. One is data input stream and the second one is data output stream. Data input stream and data output stream. Okay, these are the two different types of streams, also used as filter classes. Okay, that is the two filter classes. This is a data input stream and this is data output stream, and both are used as so now what is this? This is data input stream and this is data output stream. data input stream and data output stream, and which is derived from filter input stream and this is derived from filter output stream, filter input stream and filter output stream, and data input stream, and this is data output stream. Okay, now this is the hierarchy of the two classes, two filters. What is the first filter? Now this is derived from this, and this is derived from this. Okay, this is derived from this. These are the data input stream and data output stream classes. Okay. So for example, if you want to create a data input stream, so to create a data stream, to create a data stream for input, this is for input. Okay. Now here for output. Now how to create a stream for input and stream for output. Now to create a stream for input, what you have to do is, so file input stream, create object for file input stream first. FIS is equals to new file input stream. Now here specify in file. Specify in file. That means input file name. Okay. And then create a data input stream. Now this is the data input stream, means data input stream means data input stream, DIS, object name is DIS equal to new data input stream, then pass this file input stream object as parameter. Okay, new data input stream of FIS. Okay, now it converts this FIS as a regular file. Okay, this is to create data stream for input. Now similarly, to create a data stream for output, to create a data stream for output, now what you have to do is file output stream FIS equal to, this is FOS, file output stream. Okay, FOS equal to new file output stream, and data output stream DOS is equals to new data output stream of FOS file output stream. Okay. Now this is for data input stream, and this is for data output stream. Okay. So here the file objects in file and out file. Okay, now here this is not in file, this is out file. This is out file. Okay, 1 minute. This is out file, right? Here what is in file and out file? These files must be initialized with appropriate file names. Okay, so before they are using, what you have to do is you must create the in file and out file. Okay, understand all of you, right? Now let us see one simple example which illustrates the use of the primitive data types, that is use of these streams to handle primitive data types. Okay, so please note down this diagram and then we'll see one example. Okay, please note down this entire things. Okay, so now let us take one empty file, notepad. Now read write primitives. My class name is RWP. Read write primitives.java. Now first write the import statement. Import java.io.star, because all these classes, file input stream, file output stream, data input stream, data output stream, all are available in this package only. Okay, so that we need to import those packages, IO packages. Okay, and class read write primitives RWP, and then so public static void main and string args. So here I am writing throws IO exception. I don't want to handle, I don't want to use the try and catch blocks. Okay, so directly here I am throwing the IO exception. Okay, throws IO exception, right? Then let us create one file object, file f equal to new file of, here you can take one file name, that is primitive.dat file, prim.dat. Suppose my file name is prim.dat. This is what I am going to create. Okay, primitive.dat. Next, create file output stream FOS equal to new file output stream of this file object. What is the file object? F. Okay, and then data output stream, DOS equal to new data output stream of this file output stream object, as I discussed earlier. Now what you have to do is write data into a file. What is the file name? Prim.dat. Okay, just write the contents into the file prim.dat. Okay, now dos dot, so write int for writing integers, so 1990 because it is integer, and dos dot write double. Okay, now 37.456 and dos dot write char. Dos dot write char. Suppose the character is x. Okay, then close dos dot close and fos dot close. Okay, this is for writing. Next, reading data from prim.dat. Okay, now for that what you have to do, now again create this file input stream and file output stream objects. Okay, now in place of output file input stream, fis equal to new file input of f and data input dis equal to new data input of this fis, new data input of this fis. Okay, now print the contents system dot out dot println. Okay, data input stream dot reading. Okay, data input stream dot read double data input stream dot read char. Okay, and then dis dot close dis and fis dot close. Okay, now close this and close this. Okay, this is the way of reading and writing primitive data types. Reading and writing primitive types. Okay, so please note down. Please note down the program. Okay. Completed, eh? Right. Now let us compile the code Java C RWP dot Java. Okay. Cannot find the symbol data input string. Okay. Spelling mistake is there, and cannot find symbol read char. Here also one I extra. Okay. And program compiled successfully. Then execute Java RWP. Okay. Now the file created successfully, and data inserted successfully, and data read successfully. Okay. Now see here, prim.dat file created, and the contents are stored, and from that we have read the contents from that file only. Okay, this one 1990378456 and X. Okay. So this is the way of reading and writing contents or the primitive data types from a file. Okay, right. Okay, next one is random access files. Okay, the next concept is random access files. Okay, so random access file means you can perform both read and write operations at a time. Okay, so for example, if you have seen the earlier cases, okay, earlier, now we can perform either read operation or write operation only in a particular file. Okay, that means we can open a file for reading or writing only at a time. Okay, but now we can see how to read and how to perform write operations at a time. Okay, understand all of you? So that means in general, write down one point. So we can use a file for either read or write operation. Okay. Now such files are known as called sequential. Such files are called sequential files. Okay. So that means you can perform either read or write operation. Okay. Understand all of you. But now in Java, the class random access, there is a class called random access, RANDOM ACCESS, random access file. There is a class called random access file supports or allows us to create files So that can be used to for reading and writing data with random access. With random access. Okay. So random access means that is we can jump around the file. We can jump around in the file while using the file. While using the file. Okay. Now such files are known as random access files. Such files are known as random access files. Such files are known as random access files. Okay. That is called random access. That means we can move from the beginning of the file to middle of the file, and middle of the file to end of the file, and again end of the file into the beginning of the file. Like that we can skip from one place to another place, and at the same time we can open a file for both the purposes, for reading purpose as well as writing purpose. Okay. Now next point is a file can be created and opened for random access, by giving a mode string as a parameter to the constructor, when we open a file. Now we can use one of the following two mode strings. There are two mode strings are there. Okay. So one is R. This is for reading only. And second one is RW. This is for both reading and writing. Okay. And similarly, we can also update an existing file. An existing file can be updated using the RW mode only. Okay. There is no append mode. Okay. Using RW mode only, you can update the existing file. Okay. So please note down these important points, right? So here the random access file supports a pointer called the file pointer. So like in C language, the random access file object acts as a file pointer. Now we can move this file pointer from one place to another place using the seek function. There is a function called seek. Okay. So here the file pointer is moved from one location to another using seek. Okay, this is available in the random access file class. Okay, so now we can open a file using the constructor random access file RAF object. RAF is equal to random access file of, here you can specify the file name and mode. Okay, mode means either read mode or write mode. Okay, now for example, random access file RAF equal to new random access file of, my file name is rand.dat, and I am opening my file in two modes, read and write modes. Rand.dat, comma, here the mode is RW. The mode is the RW. Read and write modes. Read and write modes. Okay. This is the way of creating a random access file, RAF. Okay. So please note down these important points, and then we'll move on to an example. Okay. right? Now let us see one example. So let us open one notepad, empty file notepad. So my file name is randomio.java. Okay, and import java.io.star and class. My class name is randomio and public static void main and string args and throws IO exception. Throws IO exception. Now let us create random access file object. RAF is equal to new random access file, and my file name is random.dat. You can give any extension, okay? And this is used for both read and write operations, okay? Random access.dat. Now first write data into a file. Write data into a file, okay? Now RAF dot random access file dot. Now write int. Write integer and RAF dot write double. Okay, 123.456 and RAF dot write char. RAF dot write char. Single character you can write. Okay. Then RAF dot seek of 0 means beginning. Go to the beginning of the file. Okay. Go to the beginning of file. Then print the contents. Okay. That means reading file. Okay. Now system dot out dot println RAF dot read integer. What is the first value? Read integer. Okay. And RAF dot read double and RAF dot read char. Okay. Read int, read char and read double. And read char. Okay, the order of written integer and double and char. Okay. And finally RAF dot close. This one and this one. Okay. RAF dot close. Just writing and reading. Okay, please note down. All right, now let us compile. Java C and Java. Okay, now the contents are written into the file 1023 written and double value 12345 6 written and the character X is written and also similarly read. 1 0 2 3 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 5. Okay. Now suppose I want to put the file pointer at record number 2. Okay. Then what you have to do, RAF dot seek of 2, suppose. Okay. RAF dot seek of 2. Okay. Now what is record number 2? Record number 2 is this one. Okay. Now print RAF dot read double. Okay. Java C and Java. Okay. Now 1023x and again this RAF dot C. Okay. RAF dot read double. Okay. Now suppose this is 1. Okay. Now let us compile the code and execute the code. Okay. RAF dot read int. Okay. Okay. So now if you want to append some more records, okay, then what you have to do is first go through the end of this file. Okay. Go to the end of the file. Okay. Now what you can do is use RAF dot seek of. Now find out the length of the file. RAF dot length. There is a function called length. RAF dot seek of RAF dot length. Now which returns the end of the file RAF. There you can add the contents. RAF dot write a boolean of, suppose false I am writing, boolean dot false. Okay. And then move to the last position, RAF dot seek, suppose this is 4. Okay. And system dot out dot, this is the 4th record. Okay. Println of read boolean. System dot out dot read boolean. Okay. System dot out dot read boolean. Right. Now suppose now compile the code. Now this RAF dot read boolean. Random access file dot read boolean. Okay. Now 1 0 2 3 and 1 2 3 4 5 6 x, and this is true. The last one is the true boolean value. Right. Right. Compile the code. So del random io dot class. Okay. Right. Suppose this is true. Write boolean of true, and file dot seek 4, system dot out dot println. Compile the code. and write. Okay. Okay. So now if you want to print this value, then what you have to do is go through the end of the file -1. Okay, end of file -1. Okay, instead of writing 4, because you do not know whether it is last record means you do not know its location. Okay, so that what you have to do is the length of the file -1. Okay, that index begins with this 0, so that -1, -2, -3, like that you can use. Okay, suppose this is false. Okay, this is false, and end of the record -1 Java C, and this Java, right? That is the last record is false, boolean value. Okay, so this is about the random access files, how to read the contents from a file and how to write the contents into a file. Okay, and how to perform both read and write operations simultaneously. Okay, this is regarding the random access files and the concept of files. Okay, so with this we came to end of unit number 5. In the next class we'll start unit number 6 and the last unit. Okay, thank you.